Hello, all my race fans out there. How are we doing? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you had enough to eat and you were like me. Had to roll your race simulator seat back a couple clicks. I'm feeling it this evening, but thank you for joining us. I'm glad we have a nice big full grid for you here. Doing the LMP2s and the GTEs and the IMSA class on Thursdays as always. Here wrapping up our time at Silverstone Raceway. We are currently in the final 10 minutes of our practice session before we get into that 10-minute qualifying and into our 40-minute race. See how everybody's stacking up there during this practice. We are currently watching Michael Kulliga running in the mid 148s at the moment. Currently 5 minutes on the clock. Steve Martinez currently running a 147.295 in this practice session. And we have Dustin Burkhalter has decided to join us in the customary unicorn barf paint scheme. He's running the Porsche this evening. Good to have him out on track. Happy Thanksgiving. And my eyes deceive me. Oh, David Fendick making me so happy in that Honda, that HPD. I don't blame anybody for doing the Dallara P217, but I do enjoy those open cockpit LMP2 cars. Let's look at our race info for just a moment around this 3.6 mile racetrack. We got 40 minutes on the clock for you. We're going to have 50% fuel limit for these tanks. That's going to mandate a pit stop somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes into this race. We have seen the LMP2s coming in and a little bit earlier and gulping down some more fuel and throwing them back into the traffic from behind. So, and we expect to see them all come in probably on the same lap, because this is a very long lap like we saw at, it's not quite as long, of course, as Le Mans, but it is a 3.6 mile track, so that will probably be very tricky for an LMP2 to go for yet another lap out there. I apologize as those sectors are eating into the driver graphics slightly. In fact, these sectors are not coming up at all at the moment. Let's see if they have started to pop up for Eric. Oh, just as we go to Eric, they are he's off track. Nope, and those sectors do not like us at the moment. It is okay because we only have 10 seconds left in this practice session. And there we are. We are ready to jump in head first to this practice session. Sorry, this qualifying session. We got 10 minutes on the clock, which is already starting to tick down, and it is a long lap out there. So I imagine we will see at most 3 hot laps out of these guys. During the practice session, I did not see anybody practicing their pit entrance. Hope that doesn't become an issue for some of these guys out there. I apologize. The sectors are not liking us this evening, not showing up. Graphics seem to like me at the moment. Let's go to the good old battle boxes out there. As Dustin Burkhalter rounds the final turn to start his first hot lap. Roy already out to entry onto the Wellington Straights on his first hot lap. Eric Kulliga starting his first hot lap out there. Got 3 minutes on the board. This is Jeremy Lapinus, I learned this evening, as he saved me from humiliating myself again, mispronouncing his name. Thank you very much, Jeremy. And great job last night in the Camel GTE Evolution class. Had a lot of fun racing around here. Just in general, all three races this week have been pretty good. I mean, I can't say for this one. I expect this one to be pretty good. Hopefully I am not wrong for the third time this evening or this week. Darren Roy first on the board, the 151.326. Dustin Burkhalter crosses the line with 157.2. Jeremy Lapinus, sorry, I'm going to get that one wrong for a while now. I'm going to overthink it. Goes fastest with a 157.1. Troy Banks crosses the line with provisional pole with a 149.9. Steven Martinez eclipses him by a second and a bit with a 148.18 is the time to beat. Corey Mitchell is in an M8 out there. Excuse me, I'm missing a lot of lap times out there, but no vets? No vet? No little red Corvette? Can't believe it. On Thanksgiving, what a disgrace. As Eric Culliga goes into the 147, says 147 flat. Bjorn Benches goes third fastest with a 148.3. And Edwin Martinez comes across the line with 158.2 to be third in the GTE class this evening. As fastest in practice, Tyler Pierre Richards has a little issue out there. Michael Johnson also working to give us a hot lap out there. Darren Roy returns to the pit lane for a moment. I swear, I think my software is broken. I can't even get over it. Troy Banks is not able to better his time. Pretty much puts down the same lap time. Jeremy Lapinus, sorry. Okay, I bet you're teased about that one. Goes faster yet again. Dustin Burkhalter into the 157.2s. Eric Culliga betters his time. He gets into the 146s. Bjorn crosses the line with a 147.6. That's going to put him on the front row for the time being. Oh, and Corey still struggling to come to terms with the M8. At this rate, he may not set a time for us. We're still waiting for laps from Tyler Pierre Richards, who's storming through Maggots and Beckett's at the moment. Federico Del Toro not on the board as of yet as he enters the final chicane at Brown's Club. Michael Culliga still not on the board. And David Fendick. Tyler goes second fastest, just a touch faster than Bjorn, and relegates him to third place. But still waiting from some laps from some quick drivers out there. Maybe feeling too confident from practice. As Michael Culliga just finishes a hot lap of his own, and it was not clean. So he is not on the board either. At the moment, they will stack up about 8th to 10th. Just listen to the sound. Just listen to that. I could listen to that for 40 minutes. Oh, it's Corey Mitchell loses it into Brooklands. I don't know what he was thinking this evening. You gotta stick with your Corvette. Maybe he thought for the track the M8 would be better, or would be fun to mix it up. But he is struggling to come to terms with that car at Silverstone. Federico Del Toro goes 1/1000 slower that lap and retreats to the pit lane. And we have 20 seconds on the clock, so that should pretty much be it for our runners. Michael Kulliga will not have enough time to finish that lap. Tyler Pierre Richards stays in second place. Steven Martinez bumps himself up to third. He's going to still line up alongside Bjorn Benches. Let's take a quick look at the race grid while it is handy. That's Eric Kulliga on pole position. He lines up next to Tyler Pierre Richards. Row 2 is Steven Martinez and Bjorn Benches. Then we have Michael Johnson, followed by Troy Banks, Darian Roy, and Vincent Wood. Michael Kulliga and David Fendick also not able to qualify. They will be the top 10 in the end of the LMP2 class. Then Jeremy Lapinus is on pole position for the GTEs, followed by Dustin Burkhalter, who decides to join us. Federico Del Toro and Edwin Martinez is row 2 for the GTEs, followed by Darrell Washington, Valerie Arsencio, Corey Mitchell, Kent Kruger not on track either, and Aji Kadambi pulls up the back of the grid. So there is your pole sitter, Eric Kulliga, putting in some storming laps and holding off the competition. So we will all watch him into turn 1. Let's take a look at the race info one more time before we get rolling. We only have a track temperature of 83 degrees, air temp 70 degrees. This is a morning time race. Although good evening to all of the race fans out there. Great sound of Jeremy's Corvette. We are rolling here at Silverstone. We are on the back end of the Hangar Straight. And coming around sorry, my friends are being ridiculous outside. Coming around Stowe here while watching Eric Kulliga. We are on Tyler Pierre Richards. Now we are watching Eric Kulliga as he gets himself a nice little buffer and hits it early for the rest of the pack. Tyler Pierre Richards on the outside here. Steven Martinez catching some curb and having to concede that place back. Oh, and towards the back, we've already had some issues. It's Troy Banks there trying to get back on track. That's Michael Kulliga also off track. And the LMP2s of Vincent Wood and David Fendick falling off of the start. That's Corey Mitchell making up a couple positions already in his M8. But we'll see how steady he keeps that through this very slow part of the course. Edwin Martinez ahead of him has to get a lot of curbing. Martinez, after that opening start and dash for second place, finds himself in fourth. Jeremy with retaining the lead for now, pulling up to David Fendick in the HPD ahead, who goes very wide and is going to send him around the outside. That's going to open the door for Dustin Burkhalter on the inside as they go door to door. And into Woodcote, Jeremy swaps back around to the inside, cuts the curb a little bit as it is legal to do. Bjorn Benches struggling with the traffic behind. Steven Martinez now down to 5th, actually, as Bjorn Benches gets one up on him. Now Darian Roy behind them. Oh, has an off of his own. Ken Kruger dealing with the HPD traffic back there, and Troy Banks now catching right up to him and making that look easy. And that's Michael Kulliga in the back, also trying to get past this traffic into Maggots and Beckett. Just an insane place to go racing. Mixed class through there. And right from the get-go, it is exciting. We're having mixed class racing thanks to an early incident that sent a couple of the HPD guys backwards, back up towards the top. We haven't even seen these guys all lap. That's Eric Kulliga still being hounded by Tyler Pierre Richards. Michael Johnson's moved up 2 positions from 5th to find himself in 3rd. Bjorn Benches settles back into 4th place, and Steven Martinez losing out big time. With a couple positions for him, and David Fendick is pushed wide on the final turn there, it looks like. And he's getting passed by Michael Kulliga on the outside. Troy Banks a little bit further ahead. He's trying to find his way around Corey Mitchell. Back up top. Tyler takes to the inside as they go around Kops together. He's gonna have it. And there's no way Eric's gonna be able to fight back through the twisty turnies here. But he will try to get the best launch out of Chapel. Troy Banks now ahead of all the GT traffic. And catching back up to the other pack. Michael Kulliga still has 3 more GT cars to pass before he can start gaining back on the rest of the LMP2 pack. And David Fendick has dropped all the way back down. Federico Del Toro is sitting in the pit lanes, not exactly sure why. But I think he has forgotten to grid with us. Forgotten to start, perhaps. And Tyler's starting to pull out a little gap there. It was 1.2, around 1 second now. Michael Johnson under a second behind. Corey Mitchell hounding Dustin Burkhalter ahead through Woodcote, trying to get that slipstream around him. I don't know if he feels as comfortable in that car as he does in another red car, but he is up 5 positions from the start of this race, so he's got to feel the race magic in it, I guess. Sometimes when you just get racing, I'll jump in a race that I haven't even driven the track but a couple laps, and then, you know, as the race starts, I really start to understand it, come to terms with it. And I think that's what happened in Corey this evening. And the guys in front of him are a mighty fast. So they are good guys to learn from. As you can see, the top 2 and the top 3 are about a second apart altogether. Here's Ken Kruger on the back of Edwin Martinez. Ken has had a great start. Finds himself in 5th from not qualifying at all. Unfortunately, I was caught wrong again this week, and the LMP2s all have at least a second between them and have spread out a little bit. So that close racing that I was hoping for power is not quite there with the LMP2s, but that will come back into play as we come into our pit stop window in about 15 minutes. Oh, and that's Kent Kruger making the inside move. Edwin Martinez just has to yield there. Up top, Corey Mitchell's fallen off about 2 seconds, but Dustin Burkhalter catching right up to Jeremy. Dustin not pushing too hard. Just staying with him, happy to be 0.4 behind the leader. Still got 32 and a half minutes to race. Back up top, Tyler Pierre Richards has 2.7 on Eric Culliga. It's 1.3 back to Michael Johnson and 1.6 back to Bjorn Benches. Here's your top four, ready to pounce if anything is to happen, but everybody just outside of that crucial draft slipstream. And you can see Corey Mitchell on his speed. Looks like he's going about 10 miles an hour faster down the straights than Linus or Burkhalter. He's out of slipstream range. Oh, and is this Dustin's move? Just trying to distract Jeremy ahead, who doesn't have the best time around Brooklands or Lowfield here. But Dustin not really able to close that much. It's 0.2 behind at the moment. Dustin just giving Jeremy something. Oh my goodness gracious, and we saw that move in the Miatas on the inside. Two maggots just squeaking in there and retaining speed. The other guy has to brake. Oh, beautiful move as Dustin Burkhalter leads from Jeremy Lapinus. And then we have Corey Mitchell, who's only a second behind now. Jeremy's rear end looked a little wild on that braking section. Just tries to outbrake the Porsche. And that's invited Corey Mitchell right into this battle again. And Mitchell going much slower this time. Very, very strange indeed. Dustin just hogging the whole roadway there, not getting the best turn around in Village, but just making sure that he's in the middle of the track. Nobody can get around him, and that's Corey. on the inside of Brook. Oh, and Jeremy cannot hold on to it and spins it. He loses 2 positions in the space of a ticking. There we go. Okay. Heavens. This is Michael Johnson. Glad everybody's on the same page right now. Corey Mitchell within a second of that lead, having an awesome race after crapped all over him in qualifying. Bjorn Benches in 4th place at the moment. He's less than a second behind Michael Johnson. Steven Martinez unfortunately finds himself in 5th. Jared Roy's up in 6th. And Troy Banks, after his early traffic and incident, finds himself back in 7th, about 10 seconds behind Darren Roy. He might have just had an accident, but was just going wide at Stowe. Oh, goodness gracious. Is my stream still running? What is even happening anymore? We are still running. Tonight's gonna be one of them crazy streams. Oh, and something has happened to Eric Culliga, who has relinquished that little bit of a buffer he had back. So now the battle for second is now 1.6 in total. This is a view from Bjorn's onboard. I know 0.6 looks like a lot at the moment. Right at the moment it's 0.3 as Bjorn is pushing to make this move happen. He can see second place ahead. He knows they got to move. He's a little late on the skinny pedal out of Beckett's, and that's going to cost him down the straight. He's back in the slipstream at port 4. And I believe that's some lap traffic. GTE car they're having in around at the moment. They were very courteous. Really let these guys through. Good heavens. I really have no idea. I really hope that 25 minutes is correct. It seems correct. We're 15 minutes into this race. Oh, as Eric goes off with the, oh goodness, and Eric almost gets collected. He does get collected after all that hard work, and now they're all going to scramble back onto the grid. Eric Culliga also struggling to turn it around. Michael Johnson is drag racing with now second place Steven Martinez on the inside of Brooklands. And so that battle for second place ended with Steven Martinez taking it away. And Eric Culliga has retired to the pits after that incident. Unfortunate. And Bjorn Benches still out there, and Michael Johnson retains third place as they're starting to lap some of these GT cars, which are adding a little bit of excitement to their racing. Difficult to see what happened back there. Take a quick peek at it as it looks like Bjorn's making a move on the outside, and Eric Culliga just gets wide. That's really sort of nothing more of it. And then these two, it looked like Michael Johnson did not leave adequate space. It's so difficult coming around Aintree to go anything sort of too wide at all. Michael holds on for the moment as Bjorn Benches goes a little bit off track. Onto yet another lap, Michael goes wide. Bjorn decides not to outbrake him down the middle, but he wants to get that second place. You can see Steven Martinez with a 1.5 second gap slowly pulling away. Corey Mitchell right on the heels of Dustin Burkhalter now for the lead of the GT class. Having a great race out there. Very conservative with this car a little bit. Not initiating any understeer or anything. Kruger having to, as Michael comes into the pits for his pit stop. Maybe he was just thinking I'd get out of that battle and put in some good laps in a moment. But that leaves Bjorn Benches to pick up third place. Kent Kruger might hold on to this through Lowfield. They got to look out as Tyler Pierre Richards right behind them. And they're all seeing the blue flags there. I was about to say, Kent Kruger's going to have to fight for that third position he was handed. And he's got a 20 minutes plus with that if he wants to hold on to it, as well as a pit stop to navigate. Oh, and Jeremy is bravest into Maggots. Dustin Burkhalter holding on. It's a lap car of Ajit Kadambi in the foreground. Corey Mitchell gives him a little hurry up coming around the final chicane there. And he does it using the lapped car of Aji to split the guys down the middle. And Dustin goes to the left for the outside racing route, and Corey takes the inside dangerous route and makes it happen. That's how you can use the lap traffic as a pick to get around your opponent. Michael Johnson, after his pit stop, comes back out. Let's see if I can get that up to show y'all. Oh, and we actually have 3 LMP2 runners who have already come into the pits. Michael Johnson with 15.3, Vincent with a 10.8, Michael with a 17.9. Eric Culligan is not out of the race. Well, excuse me there. Seemingly no time in the pits though. Maybe he just had to relax. He wants to come back out and race on this track with us. Now pulling up to Steven Martinez here. And here is the lap car of Aju. Oh, Jeremy has a little rear lockup. But Kent is not going to be able to use the back marker like Corey was. He'll be lucky if he gets past him before we go into Abbey here. He's not. Oh, Valerie goes a little wide coming out of Beckett's. Finds the track again pretty quickly. Oh, Michael Johnson with an issue coming around Maggots and Beckett's as well. Roy comes into the pit lane. He exits the pit lane. He's only in there for 14.4. He exits in 6th. That their pit stops are not slowing them down enough to get caught up in the GT traffic. We have seen some of these guys lapping the entire GT field already before their pit stops. Dustin, you can just see Corey in the foreground, not quite able to stay with him at the moment. Valerie also enters the pit for her pit stop. Not displaying any pit time for her. She just had to do something real quick. Darrell Washington is in his pit box and his time is counting. Tyler Pierre Richards enters as well, the race leader in. And 25 minutes into this race, I imagine that's probably as far as we will see these guys run, as second place Steven Martinez also comes in. Bjorn Benches and Eric Killiga, we did not see get any fuel, but he might have. Also entering the pit lane. Troy Banks goes past for another lap. Here is Troy coming down the pit lane. He is your new race leader for the moment. Steven Martinez backing up right behind Tyler Richards there. And Bjorn Benches right behind them. I believe that's Jeremy Lapinus, and then who else was just in the pit lane? Dustin Burkhalter also stopped for a 9.3. Jeremy for a 14.2. Darrell got a speeding violation, I'm pretty sure, for 47.8. Tyler Pierre Richards was in there for a I read that right, of 35 seconds. He might have gotten tires as well. He had such a nice gap out there. He gets out ahead of Steven Martinez in second position after being in there for an additional 22 seconds. Bjorn Benches exits 15.5 behind, so you can see him back in the background there. Seconds behind Troy Banks at the moment, who is yet to pit. I imagine he would be coming in on this lap. We'll see how many of the LMP2 runners have not pit. Is just Troy out there, and I suppose Eric as well. Don't quite know what happened with his pit stop there. Troy elects for another lap. This has played really well for him in the past this season, as he has snuck up on quite a few podiums, and he generally leaves it as late as possible, I've noticed. Oh, excuse me. Eric does come into the pit stop. About hit 20 seconds in the stall. So we got 11 minutes on the clock. We are gonna have a few more of these GTE runners come in. Kent Kruger goes up to second position after Dustin takes his pit stop, but we're still waiting for he and Corey to get some fuel. Besides that, fifth place needs to stop. Darrell Washington and Valerie are in for their stops, so she comes out again. Oh goodness, blowing up from the back. Got to be his moment. It is, as he is out of gas and must come into the pit lane. Tyler Pierre Richards will gladly pick up the pieces, but let's see what this is gonna do for Troy here. It's a very long pit lane. And you can hear Tyler go past now, just as Troy is pulling into that final pit stall there. And he is down to fourth, he is down to fifth. Let's see where he will come out. Kent Kruger comes into the pits from second position. Troy coming out in fifth at the moment, gets passed by Darian Roy just as he exits. A ways behind Darian, I think, a few laps ago, so this strategy has played out a little bit for him. He has made up some time. They are coming up to the back in second place, Dustin Burkhalter. Who is not colorblind to blue. Holding his line to the right pretty solidly for these guys to come on through. Well, I missed just a couple guys into the pit stop. Corey must have come in with Kent Kruger. Kent Kruger comes out in fourth. Corey in there only for 7.8 seconds. 8 minutes to go on the clock. We're seeing Darian Roy and Troy Banks pull up to the back of the GT leader, Corey Mitchell, to finally lap him. Up top, it's Tyler Pierre Richards. He's followed by Steven Martinez, and Vincent Wood is in third position. Steven getting a little wide there. Vincent's eye is getting a little big as he's only about a second behind now. That race on top here. Steven Martinez is about to be put under some pressure by Vincent. The final few minutes of this race, Vincent's tires seem to be agreeing with him a little bit more. Troy Banks has fallen back just slightly from Darian Roy. Not finding the same pace as he had before his pit stop. Vincent able to keep it around 0.6 for most of this lap here, but nothing good enough to have a look. Taking very different lines through Village there. Says Steven Martinez pulls around a whole second ahead. And then, oh! Vincent has a little look on the inside. Just puts Steven off slightly. Gaps back to half a second. Back up on some more lap traffic up there. Looks like Valley is just ahead of this pair. this is going to play perfectly into Vincent's hands as they come around the slower Maggots and Beckett's here. He's going to get well held up behind Valerie. Oh, and we saw that move earlier, taken to the inside, going around the slower class. Great move by Vincent Wood to use Valerie there and force Steven around the outside. Oh, as he almost loses it coming down Stowe. And just cruising in the middle of the racetrack, giving Steven no look back. Now he's just got to collect himself and calm these nerves. Currently on our second to last lap. It's Tyler Pierre-Richards coming out of Aintree. Oh, and Steven getting a little wide, pushing his wider line through there a little harder. Vincent Wood gets to go away. Gets a 4-second lead out of that. Well done to hold on. Bjorn Benches now 2 seconds behind. Oh, and something has happened to Troy Banks. He's lost position. Michael Johnson here. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. All seeing the shot there. Lapped BMW of Darrell Washington. Oh, mixing it up slightly. There's Michael Kovaga, who hasn't gotten much screen time since his early spin with Troy Banks. Here's Tyler Pierre-Richards running away with it. And I believe he is about to win this class this season. Steven Martinez also very high in the standings. That's Michael Johnson making his way back up, battling with Troy Banks here. Sorry, not Troy Banks, Darian Roy. Perfectly placed traffic as Valerie locks up. We are on our final lap. Steven almost invited Bjorn in there for a moment. Michael Johnson knows he wants to get this move done before the end of the lap. Feels he has the speed to pass Darian. Should be a good test to him. Something has also happened to Vincent Wood as he has fallen down, giving Steven Martinez another look. It's 0.8 between them. Tyler Pierre-Richards rounds club for the final time. He's going to come across the line as your race winner, but further back in this battle. Darian is holding on. It looks like Vincent will hold on to second place there. Michael trying to get his nose in there, but not going to happen down Stowe. He forces Darian to an inside line. They might drag race out of there. Bjorn crosses the line for 4th. Darian Roy will hold on to 5th, perhaps. No, Johnson takes it away right at the death. 0.2 of a second takes it away. Troy Banks is going to finish in 7th position. Michael Kulliga will be in 8th. and Eric, his brother, will finish in 9th. For the back for the GT class, you see Corey Mitchell rounding Stowe. He will bring it home in his new M8 for the win this evening after I doubted him during qualifying. Never doubt Dustin Burkhalter does pretty well and comes home in 2nd position. Jeremy Lapinus will round out the podium positions. It's a lap car just ahead of him there. Kent Kruger across the line in 4th. Valerie in 5th. Daryl Washington in 6th for the GTs. As we have Tyler Pierre Richards wins the LMP2 class, followed by Vincent Wood and Stephen Martinez, we see sitting there on the podium at Village that they've chosen, followed by Bjorn Benches in 4th, Michael Johnson, Darian Roy, Troy Banks in 7th, Michael Kulliga and Eric Kulliga. Then for the GT class, Corey Mitchell brings it home, followed by Dustin Burkhalter and Jeremy Lapinus in 3rd. Then we have Kent Kruger, Valerie Arsencio, Daryl Washington, Aji Kadambi, and then Edwin Martinez, David Fendick, and Federico Del Toro did not finish the race with us here this evening. As always, I highly encourage you to hit that thumbs down button. Never subscribe to my channel. And always make sure you hit that bell an even number of times. That was our IMSA series here, and that will wrap up our time at Silverstone Raceway. I enjoyed it a great deal this week, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week with our final showdown this season with the Miatas on Sundays. See you then.